Life is hard, and there's not much you can do about that. But what you can do is you get to choose your hard. Hello, 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 Pretty Girl alumni. Welcome to the lesson. Class is in session. Grab some snacks, some tea, anything to keep you company, and let's get into today's topic. So, today's topic is basically providing some encouragement to the pretty girls who feel like, you know, it's harder not to conform and basically start following the socialization that has been placed on top of you. And I'm just coming to clear things up and say that yes, it is hard not to conform, but conforming is also just as hard, if not harder, depending on the type of person you are. Not reaching your full potential and not knowing what you could have done, especially when you look back in time, because that's the thing about time is that once it's gone forever. And that's why time is such a precious commodity because people know that you can't get it back. Same thing with youth. You can't get youth back. That's why there's so much research going into anti-aging serums. Basically the fountain of youth. People are trying to come up with the fountain of youth because you can't get it back once it's gone. Even with the surgeries, you can only reverse the clock to a certain amount of time, but actual youth, you cannot get that back once it's gone. So if you're having second thoughts about shining or doing something because people told you, oh no, that's not a good idea, or no, stick to the status quo, then this is your sign to do the opposite of what people tell you to do. If someone gives you negative advice, I say do it anyways. If someone tells you to be cautious or afraid of something that you feel like is going to elevate you, then I say do it anyway. Because, like I said, you can't lose in life if you have this type of mentality. Because even if it does fail, then you can learn a lot from that. In life, we rarely learn through our successes. We learn through failure. Success is only the finishing point. It's once you've learned all the lessons and you're ready to apply them. And this time you won't fail because you've already learned all the lessons. So there is a lot of social hypocrisy when it comes to pretty women expressing their beauty or being something outside of just a pretty face. I've noticed that a lot of times it irks people when beautiful women want to be more than just a pretty face because it's like you already are held to such a high regard in one sector of society, and it just threatens people who don't have pretty privilege or who don't feel pretty, because there are some pretty girls who don't know that they're pretty or who have been convinced that they're not pretty. And so, like I said, people don't want to feel alone in their plights, in their situations. So that's why people try to discourage you from things, because they want company at the bottom. They don't want to be the only one who failed in life. It's easier to accept your reality when it's shareable and you have people that can resonate with you. And I don't want that for you, pretty girl. I don't want you to be able to resonate with low vibrational activities or scenarios. I want you to get the best experience out of life. It's hard doing everything that is going to elevate you. For example, it's hard getting an education. Getting a degree is one of the hardest things. I could say possibly is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my 20s. And that's not even speaking on honors and masters, that's just bachelor's degree. So that is hard, and a lot of the times I did want to stop and like just get a job because it was easier to just make quick money and spend it. But I had to look at the future. It's hard, yes, getting an education, but this hardness is going to last 3 years, and then I get to have financial freedom for the rest of my life. I get to get better work opportunities because the world is very education centered. Like whoever tells you, oh, your degrees don't matter, yeah, that's just a dumb hater who couldn't get through school because like literally in this economy, education is your greatest arsenal. Like it's your greatest weapon. So I had to think, yeah, this is hard right now, but having a dead end job where I can't elevate or get a promotion because I don't have a certain qualification is also hard. Being stuck in a 9 to 5 is also really hard. Not being able to afford my dream life because I'm getting paid minimum wage, that's also hard. Not having a solid retirement plan, that is also hard. But see, it's hard in the future. And what you're going through is hard right now, but it's going to make your future so much easier. Same thing with being fit and taking care of yourself. It is hard, it's exhausting, it's time consuming and money consuming. Like there are some days where I do not want to exercise, not even days, weeks, where I don't want to exercise, I don't want to eat healthy, I don't want to do some of the things that I've built into my routine, but because I've made it a routine, it doesn't feel as hard anymore. But when I started, it was really, really, really hard to um, form that self-discipline. But because I did the hard work before, now it feels like second nature. Now it does not feel as hard when I grab a fruit instead of a candy bar, or I grab, a salad instead of some crisps. It doesn't feel as hard because I put in the work. So it's hard not being able to eat what you want when you want, not being able to overload on sugar and stuff. That is hard. It's easy to just do what you want when you want, whenever you want to do it. But the alternative is that you're going to be insecure, you're not going to have discipline, you're not going to feel confidence in your body. So life is a trade-off. I'm trading in my hard work and my time right now, my youth, to get a better outcome in the future. And they say you can't have your cake and eat it too, but I think the more accurate saying for this scenario would be you can't have your cake and eat it too for now. You have to save it for later, right? So you can have your cake and you can eat it too. It's gonna take some time. It's also hard not having a huge group of friends. You feel like you're missing out on stuff. The FOMO is crazy, especially in your early 20s. You feel like you're not likable. People don't like you. You want to be liked. You want to socialize. But trust me, it's harder being surrounded by people who do not like you and who actively try to sabotage you. People who make you feel bad about your accomplishments. Yeah, that is hard because you start internalizing their behavior because they're close to you. So, yeah, it's literally so hard to live life, but I will say that I would not trade in my discipline, my pretty privilege, the skills I've gained for any of the previous things I've mentioned. I wouldn't trade it in for a group of friends. I wouldn't trade it in to be able to eat whatever I want when I want to. And I also wouldn't trade it in so that I can make quicker money and be able to spend it on useless things. Because let's be honest, like when you're younger, you're not as financially literate as when you get older because you only see the now and you only see the things that you want. You don't really think about the future. So, life is just a balancing act. And once you find your hard and you can maneuver around it, it will not feel hard anymore. It will feel hard in the beginning because you're changing habits and you're reinventing yourself essentially. But when I say that it is so worth it, and when you look back at it, you will appreciate the amount of work that you put in. And also, hard work is also just proof to yourself that you can do things. I love working hard because then I get to turn around and tell myself that I can do it because I did it in that scenario and in that scenario and in that scenario. And I just like collecting badges of hard things that I've successfully done and hard habits that I've successfully maintained so that next time I have something or an issue that I come across or something that I want, I can use that to convince myself that I can get it because I've already done it. So, what's the difference between the previous challenges and this challenge? So that is my video for today. Just a little motivation for you, pretty girl. Please comment down below what are some of the hard things that being a pretty privileged person or a disciplined pretty girl, what are some of the hard things that you experience and what are the alternatives? Like, for example, I gave the example of education and then the alternative of um, working a dead-end job. So put that in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.